we have created up to this part. So now we are going to place the image and the text into its proper format and into its proper position. First of all, we have to insert the image as a background to this banner element left panel. So we have created this image here. If we get back into our project, into this image folder, we can see that this is the name of the folder and this is the name of the image. If we just leave it up to this particular part, and now if we get back into our project and reload, we can see that there's practically no difference in the output. So what's the problem is going on? Actually, there's no problem here. All we have to do, we have to provide a particular height. For say here we are providing a 300 pixels height. Now if we get back and reload, we can see that the image is placed into its proper location but not as its proper position. So if we get back here into our template, we can see that this is the proper alignment of this particular image. So that is why we need to get back into our project, and here we have to rectify all these things. First of all, we have to provide here no repeat condition, and then we have to provide the exact position of the image. It could be in the central position or it could be in the bottom position, so it is required accordingly. But first of all, we need to rectify this height. This is not the recommended unit. Press Ctrl S and get back to our project, reload, and if we press Ctrl Shift M, we can see that this is the exact result. This is the result that we can see over here, but this may not be true in every case. Actually, there's no need to provide any particular pixel height into this matter. So that is why we are going to remove this height 300 pixels, and we are now going to use 60 VH. So what is this VH? VH here is the short term of viewport height. That means we are going to consume up to 60% of this viewport height. So now if we get back into our project and reload, now we can see that this is practically the exact viewport 60% height. If we, instead of 60 VH, if we use here 100 VH, and if we reload, we can see that this is the 100% of your total viewport height. That means we have consumed here up to 100%, but this in turn going to make your image appear into the bottom line instead of this topper part that we have intended here. This is the part. It should be reckoning into the toppermost position, not into the bottom position. So that is what we need to rectify. And 60 VH or 70 VH, if we provide here 70 VH and reload, we can see that this in turn is the result. Now instead of center, if we provide here bottom, what should be the outcome? So now we can see that this is going to be better and better. It is now reaching to the top of the surface and the bottom area is here. And if we press Ctrl Shift M, we can see that these things are in order. But this has some later concern that will be discussed in the later half. The first one is about, now we need to provide some additional blending effect into our image. From our template view, that this has practically been imposed with a kind of background blending mode. So in order to create that, first of all, we need to add an additional color information here. So that is why we placed a black background along with this image. First of all, we have created this. Let's get back to our project and reload. There's absolutely no change over here. Now if we get back into our project, and here we are placing background blend mode. Now if we place here this screen, press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload, and now we can see that there is a little bit of blending effect that has been taken place. Now for say we want to apply some filter effect along with this thing. So that is why we are getting back to our filter, and here we are providing a contrast of 110% and a brightness of 90% for say. So if we now get back to our project and reload, we can see that the filter effect is been imposed with our image, which exactly resembles with the template that we have created over here. So the image is now ready to go for the time being. If we now press Ctrl Shift M, we can see that the image is still on, but into this lower resolution, into this lower dimension of this device width, if we suppose that we do not wish to show any kind of image over here, all it will execute a very black pitched color over here, and the writing and the text will be present as it should have been. So that is why all we need to do, we need to get back to our project first. There it goes. And we need to create some media query. Max width, for say we are presenting here 767 pics. And we are getting back and we are copying this particular banner element left panel. First of all, copy it, paste it here. And we do not wish to execute any kind of image. So that is why we will be placing here background. So this is what has been placed. Now let's get back to our project and reload. If we press Ctrl Shift M, we can see no, there is a little bit of deviation. We do not wish to have any kind of height thing over here. So this is the thing that we need to rectify again. So we need to take on this height. We need to place it in the exact position, and instead of height 70 VH, we will be placing here auto. Let's get back, reload, and now we can see that the same thing that we intend is now back into action, is now in place. So if we now change this 320 pics into 767 pics, and if we now press enter, we can see that the same exact thing is going on so far. But if we now place here 768 pics and if we press enter, we can see that the image is back into its position. Now if you wish to keep on that image at this dimension, at this resolution, then there's absolutely no problem. We will just increase this dimension to 1199 pics. Then up to this particular dimension, we can see that still there is no any kind of background image over here. But despite of the fact, we can see that the contents are getting aligned side by side. They are not stacked one upon another as we had observed in case of 320 pics, or in case of a 480 pics, or in case of a 640 pics dimension. So contents here were vertically stacked up, but in case of 768 pics, the contents are now getting side by side. So this is because of the fact as you have placed here call SM7. So if you put here instead of call SM7, if you put here call LG, and if you put here call LG, then the exact same thing will be reflected into your browser. As you can see that instead of getting side by side, they are now getting vertically aligned, as call LG will be aligning their contents vertically stacked one over another. Instead of call LG7 or call LG5, if you place here call SM, and if we now get back into our project under 768 pics, now reload, and you can see that the contents are aligned side by side. So this is the thing in case of the image element. Now we have to rectify this text element.